Hello, David Bradley from the pet room here. I have in front of me a rather dirty and somewhat rusty Het 2001. And it kind of, I believe, sort of, before when I was testing it, kind of woke up, but I think there's a chip or two missing. So I'm not expecting it to come to life. This was not the machine I intended to kind of look at today, but sometimes the way things are piled up does dictate such matters a little bit. Oh, there's it. Anyway, and it's funny, because all that's happening right now, I'm getting a lot of filth off of here with this magic eraser, but also it really brings out the rust. So yeah, this case, well, it could be like in the motorcycle industry or car industry, it could be the Survivor. It works. It's been through all kinds of hell, but it still works. We'll see. I do want to just try and get some of the filth off. Look at that filth. Because some of the case doesn't look bad. I am very, very cautious about the decal, and I don't want to lay anything onto it with a whole lot of pressure, because it actually looks pretty okay. But everything else, well, as to be expected from things that sit around for 40 years, there does tend to get this level of filth. Especially if this was sitting in a garage or the attic of some place, or, who knows? Who knows? And this magic eraser is not at the end of its rope, but it's getting there. It is. I have, this was just rinsed. I'm going to very delicately run this across the logo. Very delicately. And even that, it didn't look bad, but boy, that's from what was on the logo. Just a delicate swipe with hardly any pressure. Still more comes off. Not surprising. Anyway, as I said, it really does bring out the rust. I'll do some over on this far side. And I'm not sure. I'll hit the key a little bit. Not sure what all I'm going to do. I guess before I can really test this, I've got to find another machine with a similar board and figure out what chip or chips are missing. Ooh, that is filth. And such, but what I was really going to do more of in these preliminary days of testing things was take boards out of, yuck, take boards out of the, more like the universal 8032 boards, which could have been a 40, could have been an 80, and go through them. But this machine was just, well, not in the way, but just there. It was. And there's this snotty plastic stuff up on the bezel. Don't know where that came from. Looks maybe that maybe it was from, a thing to mark the number of the machine or something if it was in a classroom somewhere in its history. I don't know. But that could probably be washed off, I would bet. I'm going to slide this a little with great care so I can get a look at this side. The water, of course, is getting rather filthy, but that is to be expected. And of course, with a magic eraser, no chemicals need to be added. You take the magic eraser, you moisten it, and you rub. And a lot of things just immediately come off with the first swipe. Some things take a little more attention, a little more effort, and it's hard to get right under this monitor. It is. But things work out, and this, as I said, this magic eraser is getting oh yeah, well, it's getting filthy, but also they do wear out. They start as a lovely rectangle, lovely, like the perfect sponge, but after they get used for a bit, oh, the water is filthy. They do sort of come to the end of their life cycle. But these ones are not bad. If, say, you're working on something that has, like the front bezel on the other machines, not just the stickered ones, but the others, they have some texture, almost like the texture you'd find on a set of stairs to keep you from slipping. And they can rip up a brand new magic eraser in a hurry. And this, it's funny, I don't often do the keys right away, but I'm just giving these a shot, and they are coming out. Much better, actually. They're looking mighty white in a lot of cases. Now, this keyboard still, does it work? Probably, but it's going to have to be cleaned, and the keys all taken off and soaked. But whatever we can get off with the magic eraser helps. Mind you, I can always clean them with the magic eraser when they're taken off, too. Certainly has a good squeak to it. But this is doing pretty good. So I don't know what slime befell this machine, but certainly there was something. I suspect it was sitting in a garage somewhere, and it wasn't necessarily a very dry location, I would think. But it does look some better than it did. Now, unfortunately, I did try to turn it on. Now, I remember before, when I turned it on, some stuff did come up on the screen. Okay, hang on. I'm going to try and turn this ever so gently, that you can see that indeed it says Commodore Basic 31,743 bytes free. No cursor is flashing. But that is not surprising, because as I said, I believe there is at least one of the major chips in the back corner on the left side that's not there. And I think it's one of the, I forget if it's 6520 or 22 or 26 or what, and it's one of those. And I don't have another one right handy to pop in. And so I will let this warm up a bit. When I first turned it on, before I started recording, I wasn't really getting any of this, but I remembered that yes, there was something. And this is what I remembered. Ugh. Ugh. Yuck. Alright, I'm going to try and turn this a little bit more. Ooh. I am. So I can get a look at the back. So this is a PET 2001-16N. Looks like a 2. Made in the USA. Slow blow fuse, all that. Replace only with same type of 6-10 ampere 125 volt slow blow fuse. And then it says the same thing in French. There's some slime on the back of the case. So maybe, and it looks kind of rough. So it might be the kind of thing the magic eraser might do well, but might actually, it would probably be the thing that this sort of PET would, it might chew up the magic eraser, and it does seem to be kind of sticker goo, which is really not coming off. It just isn't. But there are other things that can maybe deal with that. So it's nice to, like the back of this has little air vent things, and it's cool to be able to look in and see the tube glowing. I had plugged this in just before to try, and of course nothing was happening, but also I was using a power strip that I got while out thrifting, and somehow or another, and I don't know how, and I'll have to check further, but it did seem that whatever plug it was that I was plugged into that wasn't giving me very good results actually didn't seem to be working. So that is one thing to always keep in mind, even if you've got something plugged in and you're sure that everything is fine, but it's not coming to life, don't be afraid to switch the plug. One time, when I was in Florida, a fellow called me in distress. His machine would not come on. I said, have you plugged it into another socket? Oh, yes. I talked him through all kinds of things. Oh, yes. So I drove and drove and drove a very long way. I think it was about a 3-hour journey one way. And I got there, and it was an Amiga, and it had a power bar distribution thing that sat on the machine below the monitor with all these individual switches so you could turn things on and off. So yes, he had plugged the Amiga into a different switch, a different thing. He said, no, different, whatever. Anyway, he had plugged into a different plug on this power distribution thing. It was basically a power bar that was just bigger and sits under a monitor and acts as a monitor stand. But he didn't actually plug the Amiga into something without that. And of course, what was the problem? The power distribution center had troubles. So nothing was coming on because the power wasn't working there. So as soon as I plugged it into a wall, guess what? Up it came. Anyway, It was an expensive adventure for him, but he didn't seem to care. He wanted it working. He seemed to not know what he was doing, and certainly he didn't follow the instructions very well, because I said, no, if it's plugged into a power bar, don't plug it back into the same power bar. Plug it into something completely different. Oh, yes, I've done that. Yes, well, yeah. Anyway, so I followed my own advice there and said, I think I should do something else with this. Now, if I had, it's funny, I'm looking just at the back of this, the hinge at the top, it does not have screws, it has rivets. That will make it more interesting when trying to disassemble this better. Well, it is what it is. Anyway, here, I think you can see the water in here has definitely got some level of filth to it. So on the floor, just behind me here, which you can't see, there's the 8032 with the broken bezel and stuff that the monitor works. And then there's others. There are others, which I have not done more on yet. Anyway, I did think there was hope with this. See, there's also farther back a little ways. There is another small screen pet. There are two of them. But I got to be able to get at them. And then what do I do with the 4032? Anyway, I'm not sure what I will do next. I would like to find the chip to put into here to just see, does the cursor come up? But alas, like the 4032 right back here, such chips are not socketed. They are not. So, well, I've got it tidied. I've got it some cleaned. Maybe I will try to, well, maybe I'll just get the next 8032 and see what I can see. Basically take out the board, try it in the 4032, see where we're at. But at least this is doing kind of something. So I will write a note to myself. Cleaned. Missing at least one chip. Monitor works. Rusty. More testing needed, yes. And I'll put on it June 2023. And I'll stick this inside. And I can add to it as time goes on. So I'm going to turn it off. And maybe, just for fun, because things happen, maybe I'll turn it back on for a second. See if it comes up. And it does. At least I can't see exactly what it says from here, but it looks the same as what I saw. So, I will turn. I will throw my note inside. It's also kind of dirty inside. Okay. And then it is off. It is off. I will. Oh, that didn't go well. Never pull by the cord. Never pull by the cord. Oh. This, oh my word. This power strip is being difficult. But it is secure. And it worked. So that's all good. All right. So we'll put this back down. It's looking a little better than it was. I'll check this. It's funny. There was a thing I was looking into, and of course, all I really want to know is how much is it? And of course, they keep sending me messages, and they don't tell me, which means, of course, they know that I'm not going to like the answer. So, there was a thing that kept on saying, just put in stop if you don't want to receive any messages. So they would send a message, and I would send a thing back saying how much, and they would not reply. And they wouldn't answer that. They'd give me something or other, to which I would reply, and how much. So I finally said, stop. And hopefully that will put a stop to it. All right. So, yeah, this, I don't know what you can see. Anyway, there's a lot of rust on here. But if it works, it's good. And all the keys are there. So that is enough for this. I think I will grab another 8032 and see what we see. So thanks for being here. Stay tuned. From the pet room, David Bradley, signing off. Bye for now.